Welcome to Follow the Calling podcast, the show that advocates for Christ through blogs, personal testimony, faith-based merchandise, and apparel. I'm your host, Shakira. Let's dive into the episode. Hey family, welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by and tuning in. Today, I'm going to be recapping my experience at the Black Business Expo here in Savannah, Georgia. It was hosted by the Greater Savannah Black Chamber of Commerce, and I will just go ahead and get into it because you might be asking, well, what is the Black Business Expo and why do I care to hear about your experience? But I promise you, it's going to provide some information for you that you could use and just give you a little insight on my experience that you may be able to take with you in any of your endeavors that you may have going on. So let's dive right on into it. What is the Black Business Expo? Well, it is like I said, the Greater Savannah Black Chamber of Commerce. They host this event. It's been for a couple years now. Probably should have done my research. I think it may have been 3 years now. But it's basically showcasing Black businesses, nonprofit organizations, and the like. I believe that you can be a non-Black business owner to participate because you may be serving the Black community as well. Again, another thing I should have researched before I provided that answer, but yes, it's hosted by the Greater Savannah Black Chamber of Commerce, and it was a wonderful idea, I believe, to just give small businesses the opportunity to just showcase their products and services where you may not be able to get a chance to showcase what you have in front of so many people. So initially, we were told they were expecting about 1,500 people to be coming through, which is a pretty big number locally in one space in one day. But it ended up being, I think, over 3,000 people registered. So that was amazing to hear. And before I get into that, that was just pretty much the gist of it. It was held at the Savannah International Trade and Convention Center, which is a huge venue. I believe the same day that the expo was going on, the Democratic Convention was also going on. I believe it was the Democratic Convention. It was a lot going on there, and pretty much to host an event there, you got to be, kind of big stuff. So this was just an amazing idea, I believe, right here in Savannah. So why did I decide to go? Actually, in my experience, being a business owner, I have spent most of my time when it comes to larger events, where I'm expecting like hundreds and hundreds of people. I have only, up until this point, gone out of town in other places. Women's conferences or like Christian church conferences and events. That is where I had spent most of my time since 2020, traveling other places, because I could never find anything in Savannah where I felt like my business would be, I wouldn't say welcome, but where it would be, I guess, like kind of worth my time getting all of my products together, preparing for this event, and, being in a place. Now, I know the word of God, first and foremost, can be spread any place. But when you look at it as far as a faith-based apparel company, that is a little different because you do have to be in certain places where they are actually interested in buying those types of products. So I know it kind of sounds weird, but trust me, I've had a lot of trial and error with that. And I've become a little more selective on places that I choose to even come to follow the calling. So basically I decided to go, let me rewind a little bit. we definitely were going to go for my husband's business. He has a landscaping business. So we have been zooming in and focusing on growing and elevating his business to all the levels that it needs to be in, administratively, licenses, just really working on like networking and marketing to grow his business. So I've kind of spent more time doing that. And but when I thought about follow the calling, I was kind of saying, well, should I, should we, maybe we should just focus on you and your business and just allow you to like participate. And then, maybe I'll do it next year. But, we prayed about it, we thought about it. And ultimately, we just decided that, why not have both of us to just be there? Like it's still for the same purpose to get access for these hundreds and hundreds of people to showcase what we have, our products and our services, and in our hometown where, the business is. So why not? So just decided to step out on faith and to go ahead and do it. Of course, there's a vendor fee. So in our household, that's a vendor fee times two. So that was kind of, something that we had to consider too, and just did a faith move and just decided for us both to just come along. And in doing that, everybody who has been a vendor at an event, is not as easy as, okay, I'm just going to register to come and I'm just going to show up. You literally have to prepare your table setup, your signage, banners, retractable banners, whatever it is that you may have, like your whole entire setup. We both decided to do raffles, so we had to get that together, how we were going to, run the raffles. And then we also had to prepare because they gave swag bags to the people who registered to come. And, they offered, for us to put some things in the swag bags, of course, another way to market our business. So we had to decide, okay, do we want to do this? Because I believe the number initially was 500 of whatever it is that you want to provide. So we ended up settling on coupons from both of us. He had one for $50 off a minimum $250 landscaping project, and then mine was, I think, 30 or 40% off a online purchase of a minimum of $50. So it's not like a actual tangible like free thing, but of course if you utilize the service, you're getting a pretty decent discount, from either one of us. So that had to be planned out, and I think we had probably like a week from after we registered to get those things together. So it was a lot, but we just pushed forward and we made it happen. So the next question would be, how was it? And I will say, hey family, I hope you're enjoying the episode. I just wanted to let you know about an amazing collection of teas that we offer called Testimony Teas. It features teas that have a story or testimony behind it that many of you may be able to relate to. Today's episode has its own featured t-shirt. Click the link in the description to get yours today. Now back to the episode. It was amazing. I loved it. It was just, oh my gosh, it was so much that was going on there. If I could rewind, first of all, I would have been there to set up a little bit earlier. We did set up the night before, kind of partially, but the next morning, we finished setting up. But I wish that was like finished earlier so that I could have time to go explore and just check out everything else. There was so much going on, so many vendors with such a wide range of products and services, and I always believe in supporting other people. That is just a really important thing to me, because you cannot, as any business owner, just expect for everybody to just support you or even pray and ask God to just keep blessing you, but you got to have that spirit and that way of being inside yourself as well. So of course, I wouldn't be able to support every single person in there, but I did stop by a few of the vendors and made some purchases from them. But it's like I didn't even get a chance to really just see everybody and get like, business cards, connect with them, talk with some people. They had like a few like performers on the stage. They had like some panels going on, like on various, I think it was like 2 stages there. So at any given time, there was a panel going on one of the stages talking about important things, to business owners and community leaders. And it was just really, really cool for all of that to happen in one place. Like I almost kind of wanted to be just a regular attendee so I could just soak all of that in. But I just did the best that I could do. I did have some help. I had my daughter there with me, so that was helpful. I was able to get away from the table, a couple of times. But yeah, it was really, really cool. I also got to witness a ribbon cutting from one of my fellow church members. She just opened and launched a new business of hers at the Expo, so that was really cool to see that happen. Yeah, and I also met just cool people who stopped by my booth, and they supported. They came and talked to me. I did like a few interviews. Some people just asked me questions about being a Black business owner, or startup money, or any just questions about like what I would need to take my business to the next level. So that was pretty interesting to be able to participate in as well. But all in all, it was a really great experience. And will I go back though? Of course I will. I will go back because I know that next year will probably be even bigger and even better. The only thing again that I would probably do differently is just get my stuff set up and together earlier so I can have a little mix and mingling time with the other vendors, which they did schedule wise. They took that into consideration, but during the time that everybody else was, going around meeting each other, I was still setting up. So, but all in all, like I would definitely go back. It was a great opportunity. Yeah, and I'm also considering even joining the Chamber of Commerce. My husband is a member, and I again just wanted to focus on his business at the moment, but I'm thinking about joining myself and just see, what that can do for Follow the Calling. So, what does any of this have to do with the Lord? Well, everything that happens in life, and especially the things that I share on this platform, I do want it to be like more intentional, not just me just chit-chatting about things that I have going on. But I do want to just share things that I feel like the Lord had something to do with, or where I feel like there was any kind of shift in me some kind of way that somebody else could learn from, because that is the purpose of this podcast, is to share, encourage having a relationship with Jesus Christ, and also just to share day-to-day situations, experiences that we all go through, because this journey in Christ is constantly growing. It's a constantly growing thing. It's never a sense where you made it, you there, and you just waiting on the Lord to come back and get you. Like, no, you're always growing. I will say that. But if I could leave a message for anybody, it would be to never give up on what God has called you to. And I'm going to look down at my notes here. Basically, follow your calling. Follow the calling. Always. Roadblocks, they may come, yellow lights, things, distractions, things may come about that could cause you to slow down in your path, something that you felt like God placed in your heart and He has for you to do. And for some reason, the momentum slows down or it stops, in which in this season, I kind of felt like that's what happened with me as well, especially after having my son. And you guys, I say this a lot too, but I do still work a daytime job. I say 9 to 5, but that's not really my hours. But I work a job in the daytime, a full-time job. And it actually can get demanding at times, depending on what we have going on, like with the company. It's in relation to tariff changes and customs and things, logistics. So when things change in the economy, that directly affects my job, and a lot of times overtime is highly demanded. So, just like most of you, I'm married, I have a family, I have kids, I have work, but I also have follow the calling. And I refuse to just let it just go away because I'm busy with life. So even though, and you all may notice that as well, sometimes I may have seasons where you can see the momentum, you see more of me, you hear from me more. And then sometimes, you may not hear from me as often, but that is just because I'm just navigating life, and I'm trying to find my way back to doing what I know I've been called to do, which is this. And just being a source of like encouragement for people. I'm trying to find my way back to doing that on a regular basis, but bear with me, because just like any of you, the seasons, they are like up and down, and being able to be consistent with it. But I am praying and asking God to help me with that. So for you, anybody who is called to do anything that comes from the Lord, it's a talent, it's a gift that you have, it's a passion of yours, it's something, even in ministry that God has called you to do, and you feel like something keeps stopping you from getting that thing done or consistently doing it, don't give up. Sometimes we need to just, take time to reshift our focus, lean back on the Lord, and just ask Him for help. Ask Him, sometimes I ask, like, Lord, what is going on now? I find myself not being able to do this, consistently, like I know I should be doing. In my heart, I want to do it, but I'm tired. You can talk to God like that. Sometimes I'm like, God, I am always tired. I feel like I have too much on my plate where I am burnt out a lot. Can you rejuvenate me? Give me energy. Show me what things are on my plate that maybe, do I need to give up something? Do I need to fall back on something? Or maybe am I just not pushing hard enough where I need your strength to help me to keep going? Any of those things could be the reason, but we just have to lean on God. And I promise you, He will give you like signs and just, reassurances that you're on the right track, or that you may need to shift this way or shift that way, or stop doing this or do more of this. Most times, now I will leave you with a gem. Most times it is directly affected to our prayer life. So if you find yourself, this is what I know about me. What I know about me is when life gets so busy that I am not able to really pray more, as often as probably I was, that is when I notice things just start to feel off. So you can use that and look into your own self. Has your prayer life been kind of going downhill? That is like our connection. That is where we hear from God. That's where we just stay in tune with Him, and where we can just know like how to move, how to navigate life. Because how they say, life be lifing. I'm kind of tired of hearing that saying, but life be lifing, they say. And yeah, I would just say definitely start with your prayer life. But if anything, don't give up on what you're doing just because it got hard, just because it got busy, just because you got tired, just because, maybe some huge thing happen in life. People are losing loved ones left and right. Grief could be, going on, like a major life shift could be happening. That is just a moment for you to take it slow, to reevaluate things, to reconnect with the Father, and ask Him for help on how to move forward. But just don't let it go. Don't give up on it. So that's all I have for you today. That is my recap of the Black Business Expo. And most importantly, guys, if there's any one of you out here that want to become a part of the kingdom family, meaning you would like to be saved, Romans 10:9 says to confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and accept in your heart that God raised him from the dead, and you shall be saved. So if you believe that, if you confess that, welcome to the family. We loved you, and we look forward to connecting with you. Thank you so much for listening. If you heard something that brought you closer to Christ, be sure to share the episode with someone else. Visit followthecalling.com to become a part of the family, and stay tuned for the next episode.